The microphone.
Yeah. Under the lights, speaking of facts, double the price, yeah. Under the lights, we covering sports, whatever you like, yeah. Home runs in the park, touchdowns in the end zone. Knockouts in the ring, buzzer beater for the win, go hard or go home. Find out who you are when you under the lights. That pressure made a star right there. Under the lights, you looking for the best, tune in to Under the Lights. Yeah, yeah, Under the Lights.
Yeah. Welcome back to Under the Lights. I am your host, Big Mike, and I'm solo dolo today. You feel me? My man Jordan's not going to be here with us today, but hopefully y'all still stick around with Big Mike, and we can talk this football shit since there's been a great week 9 of football. You feel what I'm saying? And even though my man Jordan is not here, I was not going to let this Monday pass without me coming out here talking to y'all. You feel what I'm saying? So if y'all stick around with Big Mike, or if you leave, that's cool. But before you do anything, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you could be up to date with all things Under the Lights. You feel me? I just want to talk to y'all for a little bit today. I don't want to take a whole lot of y'all time. I just want to talk some football, if y'all don't mind. You feel what I'm saying? And since we talking about football, let me go ahead and just say my thing. It was great watching the NFL this weekend, stress-free, because my Philadelphia Eagles were on a bye week. Last week, we handled business, 6-2 going into the bye week, and it was great. It warmed my heart to sit there and watch the Packers get upset yet again by another sorry-ass team in the Carolina Panthers. It did my heart even more justice to watch the Lions go out there and lose to the Vikings, who we rolled over a couple weeks ago. It made me feel even better when the New York Giants went out there and got slapped by the 49ers, and I seen Jackson Dart on the sideline with his head down like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do next? You feel me? And then listen, it did me even more justice, my heart, when I seen the Commanders go out there and get fucking slapped. And I mean slapped by the Seattle Seahawks, 38-14. 38-14 on Sunday Night Football. You feel what I'm saying? And they improved to a 6-2 record out there in the NFC West. You feel what I'm saying? But the bigger news in that Sunday Night Football game when it comes to the Seahawks and it comes to the Commanders is Jaden Daniels dislocating his elbow in that 38-14 loss. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to go ahead and give y'all my quick thoughts on that. I don't have a whole lot to say. First thing I'm going to say is this. I'm not going to come out here and be like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? Man, they blew they from the beginning, they got injured players out there. Terry McLaurin ain't playing. They got Luke McCaffrey got hurt on the kickoff. You know what I'm saying? Like, things just not going right. You know what I mean? Marshawn Lattimore might have a torn ACL. So shit ain't going right for the Washington Commanders. You feel what I'm saying? But understand this. I'm a Philadelphia Eagle. I ain't out here complaining. About them losing. You feel what I'm saying? And nor am I celebrating Jaden Daniels getting hurt. I don't do that type of shit. But like I said, I'm a Philadelphia Eagle. You know what I mean? Whatever goes on over with the Commanders, it goes on over there with their ass. You feel what I'm saying? I hope Jaden Daniels comes back 100% healthy after the dislocation of his elbow. Luckily, it wasn't his throwing arm. You know what I mean? It was the left arm, the left elbow that he dislocated. But if I want to give you my thoughts on the game, well, first of all, let me give congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? Sam Darnold been, through the ringer, but this team got drafted by the Jets, and he, kind of became a journeyman. He was with the Niners and stuff like that too. You know what I mean? And he just couldn't find his way. You know what I mean? But now that he was, last year was with a good OC, and you see what he did with the Vikings, and this year with the Seattle Seahawks, they doing great things. But he got a good coach behind him, and they doing great things, putting him in position to be great. And now we know what Sam Darnold is really, really made of. That's why offensive coordinator matters. You know what I mean? In the NFL, you know what I'm saying, or in any sport. Your coach, your OC, who's calling shit, who's in charge of shit. That always matters, you feel me? But he had an outstanding night, 21 of 24 for 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, and the pick he threw, he was scrolling to the left and tried to throw right. It was behind his man, can't do that, but that's pretty much the only mistake that he made all night long. But if I want to give you my thoughts on the Jaden Daniels injury, listen, my thing is this. Dan Quinn, y'all motherfuckers was out there getting clapped. I mean, clapped like butt cheeks at a strip club when all the dope boys is there. You know, all the dope boys got all the ones coming out when the dope boys coming there. If this was Players Club and Dollar Bill was running that bitch, man, he'd have rung the alarm because, listen, asses is clapping out here. And they was getting their ass clapped by 31 points. Why would you still have Jaden Daniels in the game? This is a bad look for the Washington Commanders organization. You feel what I'm saying? You're getting blown up by 31. There's no hope. From the start of that game last night, I knew there was no hope. There was going to be nobody open because you don't have your receivers out there. Hello? And you're getting locked up. It ain't nobody's open. Nobody. So Jaden Daniels was running before he started even passing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the man came into this season hurt. He had some injuries. He's kind of injury riddled regardless. He got a small frame. He came into the season hurt, and then he got hurt some this season. He been hit the most, damn near sacked the most. You know what I'm saying? And you got this man out here getting blown out by 31 points, and you still got him out here, and you calling an RPO a run play at that for Jaden Daniels. Now you got bigger fish to fry. You know what I'm saying? You got Marcus. The season's over. You can hang that up. First, you can hang that up. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Marcus Mariota that's going to come in for him. He's not going to do no better. He's not going to get him nowhere to the promised land. Last time he was out there, he got rolled by the Chiefs 28-7. You feel what I'm saying? So, I mean, I just think it's a bad look for Dan Quinn, the head coach, and for the Washington Commanders organization. Because your starters everybody should have been pulled, bro. There should have been 0 starters out there. Why would you put him out there in harm's way? And what you supposed to do in that situation? If you're gonna have him out there, just hand the ball off. Hand the ball off or call a legit run play. And baby, if ain't nobody open, don't even run. Just throw it away. It's a 31-point blowout, man. And you just made matters worse, you know what I'm saying, for the Washington Commanders. We just made them worse. Now, we know he'll be back next season. This is mid-season. He's going to have surgery. I'm pretty sure it's going to be healed up probably before the end of the season. If not, right after the season, he'll have all off season to get right and get back to business. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like this shit just trickled down with the Commanders throughout the entire offseason. You had Terry McLaurin, who they didn't want to pay him. And then he's sitting out and shit. And then when y'all decide to pay him, he missed all this time. Now he getting hurt and shit, soft tissue injuries and shit like that. So it's like I just think they just mishandling shit. You don't do that to Terry McLaurin, your star franchise wide receiver, who was there through the dog days when they was losing and with all these different quarterbacks who was trash. You don't do that to Terry McLaurin. If he would have hit the free agent market, somebody would have paid him a bag. Somebody would have paid him, and y'all played with that. And now you playing with Jaden Daniels' life, you know what I mean, a career by leaving him in the game when you're getting blown out. And it's 7:29 left in the fourth quarter. Ain't nobody coming back on any team with 7 minutes and 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter and you down 31. You're not. You got to score 5 times. You're not scoring 5 times in 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Considering even if they were to score, Seattle didn't show no signs of we're slowing down. They didn't show no signs of all right. The Washington Commanders getting a stop on us. We got it. No, they were getting no stops. They would have went down there, ran the time out the clock, or went up there and put another touchdown up on the board. So having Jaden Daniels out there was idiotic. It was really. I don't know what Dan Quinn was trying to prove, and I ain't trying to say Dan Quinn is a bad coach. None of that shit. I'm not saying that at all whatsoever. But the decision making in that moment right there, last night in that game, it just didn't make no sense. It didn't make any sense. So hopefully, he'll learn from this. This is your franchise quarterback. He already been beat the fuck up like a domestic violence case. You know what I'm saying? Getting popped, getting hit, sacked all the time and shit. You know what I'm saying? He beat up. This is his second year. And he got a small frame. What I think the Washington Commanders need to do is tell Jaden Daniels, first of all, tell Dan Quinn and them, don't you ever have this man in the fucking game when we getting blown out that much, especially in calling fucking run plays. Don't ever let that happen again. That should be the first thing they said. And then they need to say to Jaden Daniels, look here, baby, we need you to put some more muscle on you. We're going to put you in this weight program in this offseason. And when your shoulder get right and everything, you know what I mean? And you're going to be in this weight room because you need to get some more weight on your body. You need to get some more meat on your bones. You walking around here like a 12-year-old kid in the NFL and you getting hit the most. Like Joe Burrow gets sacked a lot, but his frame is bigger than Jaden Daniels. You know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, they mishandled it, just like they mishandled the whole summer with Terry McLaurin not wanting to pay him. He sat out, and then when he tried to come back, he's hurt. That's what happens when you be sitting out and not playing and not getting active with your teammates on a daily basis. You know what I mean? You don't just get up out of bed and just go start running. All right, well, you don't miss all the training camp and then go through a season without getting hurt. Your body got to get used to all of that running. So they mismanaged that shit in the summer, and you mishandled Jaden Daniels in this game right here. And it shouldn't, is it like I know shit happens, right? But some things should never fucking happen. And that's this shit with Jaden Daniels. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not a Commanders fan, but I'm just looking at it like from, if this was Jalen Hurts in this situation, bro, he's coming out of the game. He's coming out of the game. So this is on the Washington Commanders organization. This is on them. Even though they was getting blown out, you cannot have that man in the game. Period, point blank. It shouldn't happen. So that's my thoughts on, you know, congrats to the Seahawks for the win, but that's my thoughts on this whole thing because that's the bigger story. You feel me? Nobody had the Seahawks losing to the Commanders. I know I didn't. I had them covering the spread. They did that easily. You feel me? So, but that's the bigger story, Jaden Daniels, and I think they fucked that up. That's just my view on that. You feel me? What's up, baby? Huh? I'm on the show. What's up? Okay, baby. Sorry, that's the wife, man. Let me know she's on the way home. You feel what I'm saying? But moving on, sticking with the NFL. The game of the week yesterday at 4:25 was the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Kansas City Chiefs had their 3-game win streak snapped by the Buffalo Bills in a 28-21 loss. Is this the year that the Buffalo Bills advanced past the Kansas City Chiefs? You know what I'm saying? Listen, bro. Before I get to that, let me say something. I came out here a few weeks ago. You know what I mean? We all know the Chiefs didn't look the same from the start of the season. They didn't look like the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? And when they beat the Lions 30-17, it was a good win. A good win. They're capable of beating any team. They just wasn't doing it consistently like they have done in the past, right? But they wouldn't know they got to win against Detroit 30-17. That's a damn good win. And then when Rashee Rice came back, they got a 31-0 victory over the Raiders, and everybody was, oh my God, oh shit, Rashee Rice is back. Oh man, because that's all motherfuckers be talking about. When Rashee Rice come back, as if Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, Juju Smith-Schuster, who works good in they offense, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, and Noah Gray, and I guess all of those guys are not enough. I guess Rashee Rice was the one guy somebody else that they was missing. You know what I mean? And also they had Tyquan Thornton, who was taking the top off of people, of defenses this season. You know what I'm saying? So I guess Rashee Rice was the missing piece for all of those weapons, or whatever the case may be, right? Cool, got it. Stop it. But they got him back and they beat the Raiders 31-0, and everybody was jumping up and down like they was the Chiefs of old. You know what I'm saying? And I came out here and I posed the question, are the Chiefs looking like the Chiefs of old now that Rashee Rice is back? And I said, whoa, wait a minute. Hold on. Can we pump the brakes? I mean, Rashee Rice is good, but the Raiders, I can't come out here and definitively say they look like the Chiefs of old against the Raiders. Everybody looked like their team of old, you know what I mean, when they play the Raiders. This is the fucking JV team. There is no hope with the Raiders organization. You know what? I take that back. Brock Bowers is the only thing that gives the Las Vegas Raiders hope. He is the best tight end in pro football. The best tight end in pro football. That man came back yesterday and put on the show. And if it wasn't for Pete Carroll doing Pete Carroll things, trying to go for 2 to win the game, they could have just tied the game and possibly went into overtime and won the game like that. But that's Pete Carroll. We know Pete Carroll is known for making dumbass decisions, considering in the Super Bowl against the Patriots on the 1-yard line, he wanted to throw the ball and instead of giving it to Marshawn Lynch, the best 1-yard running back in the game at that time. Strong, powerful, he's beast mode. He chose to throw the ball on a 1 fucking yard line. It's Pete Carroll. This is the type of shit that he does. You know what I mean? And I said, nigga, wait, the Raiders are terrible. The Colts put 40 on them easily. Just walked all up and downfield and did what they wanted to do. I can't gauge how good the Chiefs are at playing against the fucking Raiders. I also said it's to the point where now, if my team, the Eagles, we got the Raiders this year. We got the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be pissed off if the Raiders get a point on us. I'm gonna be pissed off. Even now, they didn't have Brock Bowers when they was getting blown out like this, right? He'd been hurt and shit. But even if Brock Bowers is there, he might be able to get you a touchdown or two, maybe because he's that good. He's that good. But I'm still gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset. That's what it is with the Raiders. If they score a point on you, dog, you should be upset. I'm talking about if you're one of those premier teams. If they score on us, it better be because Brock Bowers just went out there and made some miraculous things happen. He got one-on-one coverage. You can't cover him, you know what I mean, with a safety or a linebacker. You can't cover him. He's their number one. You can't cover him. You know what I mean? If you got a number one tight end who also lines up at receiver, that's your number one target right there. You don't got to be outside of the numbers to have a number one wide receiver to say you don't have a number one. The Raiders have a number one in Brock Bowers, but it's just not enough. You feel me? But the Raiders are terrible, so I can't gauge that. And then they went out here and beat the Commanders 28-7. Oh, whoop-de-doo. That was with Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota. You know what I mean? Like, the Chiefs are not unbeatable, bro. With or without Rashee Rice. I've said they're not unbeatable. They can't even run the football. The Kansas City Chiefs cannot run the football. They can't. Hell, Pat Mahomes was leading the team in rushing for a minute. Hell, he might still be. The quarterback was leading the team in rushing. And he's not even he can move, but he's not a running quarterback. You feel me? You ain't out there just doing shit, you know what I mean, designed runs for Pat Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to get out of harm's way. He knows how to extend the play. He knows how to manipulate the pocket, make you think he's rushing up the middle, step back, go roll out, make the throw, or go run for a first down. Can he run? Yes, but he's not a dual threat guy. You feel me? They can't run the football. The Buffalo Bills can. They are like one of the top rushing teams in the league this year. James Cook is basically having his way. And we all know Josh Allen can extend the play. He can do all of that shit too. He's not extremely fast, but the boy got speed. He can run that football, and they can run the football as a team and as a whole. You know what I mean? They got weapons on offense. Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid is a dog. That's their number one. He's also a number one that's playing tight end. Can line up as a receiver or as a tight end and go get money. You know what I'm saying? They got him. They got Dawson Knox, Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer was out yesterday. They didn't even have him. They didn't even have him in the passing game. And you were talking about the Buffalo Bills defense, bro. The Kansas City Chiefs couldn't even get past, couldn't even walk over the Buffalo Bills defense, and they got a plethora of injuries. They D-tackle Ed Oliver, who was a dog. He's out on IR. Taylor Rapp, strong safety, beast. He's out on IR. Damar Hamlin, IR, out. Shaq Thompson, linebacker, out. Teron Johnson, dog. That's their nickel corner. He's out. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 guys starter. This is starters. And you couldn't go out and beat them and mishandle and manhandle them on defense. It was the other way around. The Chiefs got manhandled. It all started at the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know that, Josh Allen, when it comes to him against the Chiefs, the Bills against the Chiefs, it's 5-1. 5-1. We all know this. You know what I'm saying? And we all know that Mahomes against the Bills in the playoffs, he's 4-0. He's 4-0. So I don't want to, just sit up here and say, oh, they're going to just run through the Chiefs. I don't believe they're just going to run through the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? But some is telling me that this will be the year that the Bills get past the Chiefs. Some tells they're depleted on defense. Depleted. And they couldn't do nothing with that. Imagine when these guys win and if these guys get back. You know what I'm saying? And right now, the Buffalo Bills have the better record. The Chiefs are 5-4. They're not even at the top of their division. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to have home field advantage. Not saying they can't go on the road and get a dub somewhere. I ain't saying that. You know what I mean? But they don't have home field. And if they were to play Buffalo, if they were to play Buffalo in the playoffs, they got to go to Buffalo and get a dub. And and listen, the Chiefs just don't look the same. So I don't want to sit up here and just act like it's just going to be they about to just run through them. They're just going to run through the Chiefs. But God damn it, I think this is the year that if they do run into each other, it's over. It ain't like Josh Allen doesn't always have good games against the Chiefs. He does. It just always comes down to the last minute. Who got the ball last? Who has the ball last? That's what it came down to. And yesterday it came down to that as well. We've seen the Chiefs go down there and drive the ball because the Bills missed the field goal to go up 10. It was 28-21. If they would have made that field goal, it would have been 31-21, game absolutely over. What was it? 40 seconds or some shit like that? It was under a minute. Enough time for the Chiefs to go down and get a touchdown, as they have done in previous times. But it didn't get it done. So, listen, all good things come to an end. And I think this year is the end of the Chiefs' run in the Super Bowl. And listen, possibly this could be their last run at the AFC Championship game. I'm not talking about they're not getting back there no more in the future. I'm not saying that. I'm talking they've been there every year when Pat Mahomes been the starter. The AFC Championship game is the minimal. That's the minimum for the Kansas City Chiefs since Pat Mahomes has been there as a starter. And I think that time may have come to an end. I think we will see a new AFC team in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So I honestly think that this is the year. And like I said, we've seen it before. We always see Josh Allen and the Bills get rid of the Chiefs in the regular season. We always see it. And we always see it go the other way around in the playoffs when the Bills play against the Chiefs and the Chiefs come out victorious and move on to the AFC Championship game or move on to the Super Bowl. But I think this is the year that the Bills get past the Chiefs in the playoffs. That's what I believe. You feel me? And it ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So shout out to the Buffalo Bills. And I know they probably feeling themselves, you know what I mean? But then again, they might not be because they've been down here before. I'm pretty sure they got their eyes set on February, trying to play in February or get through January to get to February because they know what they can do. So I think the Chiefs run at the Super Bowl this year. I think that's over with because they just don't look the same. If they listen, they can flip the switch in the playoffs and who knows? They champions for a reason. They championship pedigree. They know how to fight. They coach very well with Andy Reid, but all good things come to an end. And if I had to pick a year based off how this year's going from the beginning of the season all the way up until now, because we ain't seen the Chiefs play 5-4, we haven't seen this before. So something tells me things are not the same. You know what I'm saying? And Rashee Rice was there. They made, he there. You know what I mean? So they're a good team, but I think the Buffalo Bills will get them together this year and keep moving on and advancing in the playoffs if they meet. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on, man, to the Indianapolis Colts against the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday because Daniel Jones had 5 turnovers. As good as he's been playing all year long, as good as Jonathan Taylor and the Colts have been playing all year long, man, he had 5 turnovers. Daniel Jones yesterday, 3 interceptions, 2 lost fumbles. The Pittsburgh Steelers had Daniel Jones looking like Daniel Jones. That's the Daniel Jones that y'all seen yesterday. That's the Daniel Jones that we seen in New York for all of them years. That's the Daniel Jones that we seen. Yeah, he had a good game yesterday, 31 of 50 for 342 yards and a touchdown. The man had more interceptions than touchdowns. The man had more fumbles than touchdowns. That ain't never going to win you the game. 5 turnovers, that ain't good at all. That ain't good at all. They had him looking like Daniel Jones out there. And that Pittsburgh Steelers defense, maybe that was the steel curtain defense or some shit. I don't know, because they told Jonathan Taylor, look here, Playboy, we know you've been running all over the league, but you're not going to do that to us today. We sentenced you to 14 carries for 45 yards, and you will not cross the end zone. You will not hit pay dirt. You will not put up half of what your average has been for the entire season. You're not going to do that at all, not on us. You know what I mean? The Pittsburgh Steelers defense, which is that highest paid defense, they showed up to play yesterday. They should have been playing like that. All of them guys out there on defense, they should have been doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had Daniel Jones rattled. They had that man rattled. Rattled. You know what I'm saying? That he was shaky in the pocket. They put pressure on him all day. Pressure on that man. They hit that man all day long. They sacked him 5 times. 5 times. That's what you got to do to a quarterback who is sitting back in the pocket and just picking you apart. I've said before, when you got a quarterback who can sit back in the pocket and no pressure, ain't hardly getting sacked like that, they will pick you apart. They got weapons out there. Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Adonai Mitchell, Doolin, Downs, Jonathan Taylor, Tyler Warren, who was one of the top tight ends in the National Football League. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, they got weapons out there. But that's what you got to do to a quarterback who is sitting back there just patting the ball and picking you apart, because a quarterback in the league will do that if you give him time. And them receivers be open. They be open. They was open when Anthony Richardson was in there. He just wasn't hitting the target. Well, Daniel Jones is hitting the targets. But when you put that pressure on him, this is the Daniel Jones that you get. See, the Colts offensive line has been stout all year long, and they have been protecting him all year long. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't hardly getting sacked like that. Hell, they was barely even punting to start the season. You know what I'm saying? The Broncos, when they played the Broncos, they got a victory 29-28 on the game-winning field goal over the Broncos. The Broncos lead the league in sacks, and the offensive line protected him then. They only gave up 1 sack that day. That day, he threw for 316 yards on 23 of 34 and a touchdown. And that was also a day where Jonathan Taylor had 25 carries for 165 yards. You know what I'm saying? So, like, the question is, should the coach be concerned moving forward? Listen, the Colts had a bad day yesterday. They had a bad day yesterday. 5 turnovers is a bad day for anybody, any team. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to just take one game and just say, oh, man, be concerned in every game going forward. I'm not going to do that, because every team moving forward don't have pressure, don't put pressure on the quarterback like the Steelers did yesterday, or like the Broncos normally do, and things like that. They didn't do it against the Colts. They protected them, but the Broncos are leading the league in sacks. You know what I'm saying? And the Colts have a soft schedule, bro. They got the Falcons next. So listen, if the Colts are going against teams that get to the quarterback, well, you just seen on full display yesterday what can happen when he get pressured. Daniel Jones has really never been the quarterback to stand under pressure and under fire and look down the barrel of the gun and still let loose and be comfortable with doing so. He's never been that type of quarterback. Maybe he could get better at that. I don't know, but some quarterbacks do good against the blitz. Some quarterbacks have good, they have good stats against the blitz and under pressure. Daniel Jones just hasn't been there, and you've seen that yesterday, right? So I think you should be concerned if you go up against a team, or the Colts fans should be concerned if you go up against a team that can present that type of pressure. But if they're going up against a team that doesn't present that type of pressure, I don't think they have anything to worry about, because they do have a stout offensive line. Their run game is there. They got weapons, and Daniel Jones, when protected, he can pick you apart. But yesterday, I mean, he still threw for 342 yards, but those were empty stats. Empty stats. They was throwing. It was kind of like a Dak Prescott stat. You know what I mean? When the Cowboys be losing, they down 2 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, and you ain't running the football because you want to do whatever you got to do to get down the field as quick as you can, or for the get a pass downfield out of bounds so the clock can stop or whatever. Or if the ball hits the ground, the clock stops. You know what I'm saying? But so those were empty stats because they didn't win the fucking game. You know what I mean? But they got the Falcons next in Berlin. The Falcons like the blitz. Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator, he likes to send 5. He likes to send, different type of blitzes throughout the game to get to the opposing quarterback. And they've done a good job at that this year by getting pressure. So if the Falcons, come out here and do what the Steelers did as far as pressure, this could present a challenge for the Indianapolis Colts if that offensive line cannot protect Daniel Jones, because as I said, he has not been the quarterback to handle pressure well and perform well under pressure. That's not what he does. He's looking good because the offensive line has protected him to the fullest. You feel what I'm saying? They got the Seahawks. That's another team that can get pressure at the quarterback. Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Byron Young, you know what I mean? Like, they got some guys out there that can present some type of pressure, so I think the coach should only be concerned if they go up against a team that is going to bring the pressure like they can get to the quarterback. But luckily, the Falcons and the Seahawks are not in the AFC. They're in the NFC. They're going to see them NFC team once throughout the year and no more, not in the playoffs. I mean, this is not like, there's no panic button needed. You don't need to hit the panic button if you're a Colts player or a Colts fan or no shit like that. They still going to win the AFC South. You know what I'm saying? They still going to, make the playoffs. And we'll see what the Colts is really, really made of when the playoffs get here. We'll see what they're made of. You know what I'm saying? They're going to have a home game. You know what I mean? And listen, they still on track to have the number 1 seed. They 7-2, just like the Patriots, and a couple another team. I think the Broncos, you know what I'm saying, in the AFC. So, but they still in line to have the top seed. So it's not like it's a panic button. The schedule is soft. They still going to win games. But the concern should most definitely be the teams they play that present that type of pressure. And if they can protect them, they'll be fine. You know what I mean? Not saying they can't lose, but they got a better chance if he's protected. If he ain't protected, like he been all year long, it looked like yesterday, if they run into the Broncos again, you know what I'm saying? Because they played the Broncos week 2. Well, the season is heated up now. I know Pat Surtain is out, but we talking about them guys up front that get to the quarterback. They make Pat Surtain's job a little easier. Pat Surtain is a dog. Well, I ain't saying that. But when you got guys that can get after that quarterback, they make the job easier for the secondary for sure. Because now they don't have to hold up in coverage as long. You know what I mean? A lot of guys be, trying to having a cover for 5 and 6 seconds. Then you get scramble drill. And then boom, you get to play downfield and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what the Colts look like moving forward. I don't think it's panic time. I don't think it's no shit like that. I don't think they should be too much concerned unless, like I said, the team they're going up against is able to present that type of pressure, because Daniel Jones has not been known to do well when the situations are like that. And that is my conclusion for that right there. You know what I'm saying? Let's move on, sticking with the NFL. We had another upset yesterday. We had another upset in the NFL yesterday, and that was the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers losing to the Carolina Panthers 16-13 at home. At home. I'm sitting here watching this game like, I know this is not the team that everybody wanted to jump on at the beginning of the season, and especially when Micah Parsons was traded there. Oh my God, they was talking like the Packers was about to beat the motherfucking 2,000 Ravens on defense. Oh, you got Micah Parsons on this side, Rashawn Gary on the other side. They gonna have a party at the quarterback. Please, Micah Parsons had 1 tackle yesterday and no pressures. No pressures. You know what I'm saying? You remember when he got traded from the Cowboys, Jerry Jones said we need to be able to stop the run. He got rid of Micah Parsons because they said he can't help stopping the run. You're damn right he can't, because Rico Dowdle ran for 25 carries, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns yesterday. Was he out there when they was doing that? Huh? I think he was out there. You know what I'm saying? Was this the biggest upset of the year? You goddamn right it was. See, when I came out here at the beginning of the season, I said I was not sold on the Green Bay Packers. Why? Week 1, they played the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions was under new play calling on the offensive side and the defensive side. You are prone to have malfunctions in the beginning when you are under new play calling. Things are going to be different. That new play caller, he's not Ben Johnson. At least not right now, he's not. We've seen the Detroit Lions in week 1 look powerless. Like they didn't, because they're known for their explosive playmaking on offense and getting pressure on the quarterback, making plays in the secondary, making plays all over the field. It just wasn't like that in week 1, and that's okay. That's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's under new coaching. So I wasn't sold on the Green Bay Packers after they got that dub, 27-13. After that, they have played no fucking body. But I guarantee you, when they meet the Lions again, it will not look like how they looked in week 1, which was powerless. They're not going to look like that. They pretty much got it together now. Yeah, they got lost yesterday to the Vikings, who my squad rolled over. I don't give a fuck about, oh, that's a division game. Man, please. Y'all are way better than them, and they supposed to go out there and handle them boys. I don't want to hear nothing about it's a division. I don't give a fuck. Y'all are 5-10 times better than that team in Minnesota, and they should have got it done. But they beat the Lions, and then they beat the Washington Commanders. Whoop-de-doo. Everybody beating them. That ain't nothing to be proud of. And then they have a hiccup and lose to the Browns. The Browns. 13-10. And then after that, you follow it up with a 40-40 tie against the Cowboys. So wait a minute. Micah Parsons was out there with that vaunted. It seems like Micah Parsons is always a part of some vaunted defenses, or has been a part of some top 5 vaunted defenses, and they still don't get shit done. This was supposed to be that type of defense for the Green Bay Packers that everybody was talking about. Yesterday, like I said, the man had 1 tackle and no pressures. One tackle and no pressures. Didn't even get to the quarterback. Bryce Young ain't had to do shit. He had 100 yards. 100 yards. And an interception. He didn't have to do nothing. And they tied with the Cowboys in that week. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, that's what that vaunted defense gave up 40? Gave up 40? And then you went out there and beat the Bengals. Oh, my God. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's the same Bengals team, you know what I mean, that ain't got Joe Burrow, that's losing. They ain't going to do nothing either. They ain't doing nothing either. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody sold on the Bengals for doing nothing. They've been under. They've been under since Joe Burrow been out. They had a few glimpses. Joe Flacco came in. Oh, my God, did it. They ain't going nowhere. I ain't giving them no credit for that shit. They beat the Cardinals, and that was barely. It came down to the end. That was barely because Jacoby Brissett went out there and had a field day. 25 of 36 for 279 and 2 touchdowns and no INTs. Well, goddamn. Goddamn. Like I said, it came down to the end. So far, is this telling you should be sold on the Packers? Huh? No. And then they beat the Steelers. Well, goddamn, that's the same Steelers that I seen the Cincinnati Bengals go in there and throw for. And Flacco was looking like 2012 Flacco, playoff Flacco, out there looking like a Hall of Famer. Threw for over 300 yards. They targeted Jamar Chase 23 times. I think the man caught 18 of them. 18. That's the Steelers. It's the same defense. I seen Chase Brown go out there and rush for 100 plus. The Cincinnati Bengals can't run the football. And he ran for over 100 against the Steelers. What you mean? That ain't telling me nothing. What are we doing? And so you go out there and lose to the Panthers. The Panthers is a team that motherfuckers had winning less than 7 games this year. Less than 7. They 5-4 now, thanks to the fucking Green Bay Packers. You know what I'm saying? I always said that whatever the Green Bay Packers do, it's still going to come down to Jordan Love. Because Jordan Love gives more opportunities than prostitutes on the corner. You see that pick he threw yesterday? He threw the pick. It was 3 motherfuckers down there. Why would you do that? Huh? It just up for grabs. It remind me of the bouquet throw at a wedding. You just turn around and throw that motherfucker and everybody standing back there. Who gonna catch it? You know what I'm saying? You're getting married next. Oh, you're getting an interception next. That's what he did. And on top of that, the other play, he was on the left side of the football field, scrolling out to the left, rolling out to the left, and then threw the ball all the way to the right side of the field. And if the corner, Mike Jackson, who I like, he got skills at corner. If he had any type of hands, that was a pick six waiting to happen. Jordan Love will give you opportunity after opportunity. All you got to do is catch it. When he throw it, just catch it. When the prostitute throw it, just catch it. You feel me? And listen, you ain't even got to pay for it. He giving you that shit for free. It's for free. This is the biggest upset of the year. And they had two of them. Twice. I'm not sold on the Green Bay Packers. I'm not. And listen, they got their tight end, Tucker Kraft, who got an ACL injury in the game yesterday. He's out for the year. You know what I mean? So, and that was a big part of their offense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how much that'll make them worse because they got a lot of weapons out there. Christian Watson is back. You know what I mean? They got Josh Jacobs. They got Wilson. They got Tavian. You know what I mean? Knicks. They got Matt Golden. They got a plethora of weapons out there. You know what I mean? But even still, I'm not sold on the Green Bay Packers because it's going to come down to Jordan Love making the right plays and things like that. And when you put it in his hands, he will give you opportunities to win the game. The defense, that is. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, this is the biggest upset of the year. They've had two of them, and I'm not sold on the Green Bay Packers at all whatsoever. If y'all watching this show right now, you're probably saying, oh, he only saying that because he an Eagles fan. That's part of it. That's part of it, considering we beat them week one in Brazil last year on a neutral field, and then beat them in the motherfucking playoffs last year. We got on this Monday night coming up. You know what I mean? So we'll see how things unfold. But I'm not sold on the Green Bay Packers still. And this has been the biggest upset of this year. And like I said, they've had two so far. The Browns ain't even going to win 6 games, man. They're not. They ain't not even going to sniff the playoffs. They're not going. They can have binoculars. Fuck that. They can have a microscope. The microscope that you looked up and see the stars with. Hell, you can see the moon with that. You can see the moon, the ridges on the moon with that microscope. If they say, hey, Cleveland, the playoffs is over there, they'll take their microscope and zoom all the way in, and they still won't see that motherfucker. And you got beat by them. And now it's the Panthers. Come on, dog. That's the biggest upset of the year. I can't, there's nothing else to say about that. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not sold on them niggas. Moving on. Sticking with the NFL, my Philadelphia Eagles have done it again. Howie Roseman been on the move, and we have acquired Michael Carter from the Jets, Jair Alexander from the Ravens, and Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins. Michael Carter is a nickelback. Jair Alexander is a cornerback. He plays on the outside. And Jalen Phillips is a pass rusher. He is a damn good pass rusher. Are these moves a game changer for the Philadelphia Eagles? Let me tell y'all something. I'm always happy when Howie Roseman is making moves because that lets me further know as an Eagles fan, you're doing what you need to do or what you have to do to get our team better, right? Is it a game changer for the Philadelphia Eagles right now? I think it's more of a game changer on the defensive line. Let me tell you why. Michael Carter, he's good. He's a nickelback corner. Well, we have Cooper DeJean in the nickelback. He's if not the top 2, top 3, however you want to put it, nickel corners in the NFL. He makes great tackles in the open field. He can cover in the slot, in the nickel position, in the slot position, nickel position. He can do that. He can make plays on the run plays in that position. He makes plays in the backfield at that position. He did it last year as a rookie, and he does it now as a second-year player. He does that. Now he's a nickel corner. Are they saying they need to move Cooper out to the outside? I don't like him on the outside. I don't think he's fit for that. He's best at the inside in the nickel. He's the best, if one of the best at the top at the nickelback. We needed an outside corner, somebody like a Denzel Ward. I don't think that's where Cooper DeJean belongs, and hopefully they don't move him out there. So if they don't move Cooper DeJean out there to the outside, and when are they going to move Michael Carter out there? I doubt it, because he's a nickelback. You feel what I'm saying? So unless Howie is saying, you know what? I'm still going to get an outside corner. I'm still going to get an outside corner before this deadline tomorrow. I'm still going to do that. You feel what I'm saying? And hopefully he does, because that right there is giving me pause. We already have a nickel corner in Cooper DeJean, who was a dog. And you get another nickel corner. So does that mean Cooper is going to be moving outside? And I just don't like him out there like that. I don't. Is he an upgrade better than Adoree Jackson? Yeah, he is. And Kelly Ringo? Yeah, he is. But we still need to have the best opportunity to win. And I think the best opportunity for Cooper DeJean to do what he does and be as great as he is, good as he is, or as great that he can be, it's in the nickel, man. It's not there on the outside, and that right there is giving me pause. Moving on to Jair Alexander. Jair Alexander plays on the outside. He is damn good. But the thing is, he can't stay on the field. He can't stay on the field, man. And that's a problem for us, or for a problem for me. Now, hopefully, this is one of them things where, you know how guys will have, be injury riddled here, or have a not so good time or tenure here, and they go to another place and they work out just fine. They stay healthy and they do their thing. I'm hoping that's what happened with Jair Alexander with us. He's been out for some time. He's missed 36 games over the last 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Last year, he missed 7 games due to an injury. You know what I mean? So hopefully he's fully healthy. Hopefully they don't try to rush him back. Hopefully, when he comes, if he can't play Monday night against the Packers, that's fine. Cool. He ain't ready yet. That's cool. We want you to be all the way ready. All the way ready. And that way Coop can move back to the nickel spot if they're going to have him out there before the Jair gets there, if that's what they're going to do. But when he get healthy, Coop can go back to the nickel. You know what I'm saying? And Michael Carter, I don't know, maybe they'll do something with him. They'll do something with him. You know what I mean? And then, now the game changer is Jalen Phillips, because he's a damn good pass rusher. He could get to the quarterback, and we need a pass rusher considering Nolan Smith re-injured his triceps and he was on IR and still going to be on IR. Don't know when he's going to be to come back. You know what I mean? He'll be back this season, but he tore his triceps in the Super Bowl, had the whole offseason, and then re-injured it a few weeks ago. So he's been out. Then you got the Zadarius Smith, who up and quit on us. He calls it retirement. I'm calling quitting because it's in the middle of the season. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You quit on us. You know what I'm saying? So that diminished our pass rush. He's the best pass rusher that we had. Then that's why BG, Brandon Graham, wanted to come out of retirement, because, he's a Philadelphia Eagle at heart. And you see us going through these troubles. You got Nolan Smith hurt. Zadarius Smith retires. We need that energy. We need that veteran leadership. We need BG to be BG. We need BG to be BG. That's why he came back. But now we got a Jalen Phillips, who's a damn good pass rusher, who Vic Fangio loves when he was in Miami. Keep in mind, Vic Fangio, when he was in Miami, those players down there, a lot of those players down there was talking about how Vic Fangio coached hard and they didn't like it. Jalen Phillips wasn't one of those players, because if he was one of those players, Vic Fangio would not be vouching for him. Vic Fangio is old school. Come to work and do your fucking job and go home. That's it. He don't care about all the extra shit, all the antics, all of that. Come do your job, do it right, do it well, follow directions, and let's go ahead and get a dub and play well and execute and go home with a win. And Jalen Phillips is that type of player. So you telling me that with the uprising of Jalen Hunt on one side, we got Jalen Phillips on another side, you got big Jordan Davis in the middle, you got big Jalen Carter in the middle, and Nolan Smith is coming back, and we got a BG to bring that energy, I think we're going to start having meetings at the quarterback again. again. Because Nolan Smith was on a roll to having, you might have to put a double team or chip on this guy. Jalen Phillips is that now. You feel me? So it's like, pick your poison. Are you going to double team Jalen Carter? You going to double team Jalen Phillips? You going to try to double team Jalen Hunt? Somebody going to get some one-on-one somewhere. Somebody is. You feel me? And that's what got me feeling good as far as our defensive line in Philadelphia. That's what got me feeling like this is a game changer. Jair Alexander can be a game changer if he stays healthy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But I know for sure, and that's if he stay healthy, but I know for sure Jalen Phillips can come to Philadelphia and change the game. Because he's a pass rusher that can get to the quarterback. He got skills. And he going to play well with us. That's why I feel this move in particular is a game changer. Like I said, Michael Carter, I think he's good, but he's in the same spot as Cooper DeJean, and I got a feeling that Coop gonna play outside, and then when Jair gets here, I think Howie look, we're gonna draft a nickel corner to put Coop outside because he's an upgrade. He's much better than Adoree Jackson and Kelly Ringo. So since he's not gonna be in nickel, hey, let's get Michael Carter. He could be in nickel. And then when Jair Alexander get healthy, Coop, you can go back to your spot in the nickel. Boom. Jair Alexander, you go to the outside. And then they'll work Michael Carter in some plays or whatever the case may be. But whatever it is, Michael Carter, I'm pretty sure he's happy to be out of New York, out of the Jets organization, because now you're in a winning culture. You're in a winning culture in Philadelphia. And I think that might bring his spirits up as well. You know what I mean? I know Jair Alexander's spirits are up. His spirits are always up, but he's just always hurt. You know what I'm saying? When he on that football field, it's handle business. He do that. But it just, when he get injured and stuff like that, man, it just takes away from it. You know what I mean? So I think I know how we doing, and I hope it all works well. But I think the real game changer for these three acquisitions right here is Jalen Phillips. He's young, and he can get to that quarterback. And with Jalen Hunt on the other side, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis in the middle, and you got a Nolan Smith coming back. We got a Jahad Campbell. You got Nakobe Dean, my boy Nakobe Dean is back, and Zach Bond. Zach Bond, who is back, he's not back, but he's still there. You know what I'm saying? I think we're going to look a little better. And I think we could be able to shut some shit down some more to give our defense, better opportunities at getting boys up off the field, getting to the quarterback, and causing havoc in the backfield. So, yes, I think it's a game changer, and we will see how we look Monday night against the Green Bay Packers. Hopefully, Jalen Phillips is up to speed. I'm hoping that Jair Alexander is 100% healthy and ready to play, because he's going to be poised and ready to play. If he's healthy, he's going to be excited to play against his old team in Green Bay. He's going to be excited to play against that team against the Packers. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with that, man. You know what I mean? Y'all can let me know how y'all feel about what I've been talking about today in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. You can follow me on Instagram, _ChiliMan. You know what I'm saying? _ChiliMan on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? You can follow the Under the Lights Sports Podcast on Instagram at _ Under the Lights. Same thing on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? You can also make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you can be up to date with all things Under the Lights. You know what I mean? Because I'm about to go ahead and get up out of here. You feel what I'm saying? So listen, if you stuck around with me today, I appreciate you kindly. And as again, hit the like and subscribe button so you can be up to date with all things Under the Lights. You know what I mean? I'm gone, man. I'm going to get up out of here, and y'all make sure y'all enjoy y'all day. You got Monday Night Football tonight, the Dallas Cowboys versus the Arizona Cardinals. I don't know who's going to win that game. If I had to pick, I would probably pick the Cowboys to win the game. They got a much better offense. Jacoby Brissett, he's never played against the Cowboys, so, I don't know. You know what I mean? He's doing okay with the Arizona Cardinals, you know what I mean? But I think the Cowboys might get a dub, you know what I mean, with CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson and Javonte Williams and George Pickens out there. And, so if they get a dub, more power to them. They still at the third, fourth spot in the motherfucking division. You know what I mean? Or second spot of the division, whatever it is. They ain't hitting on nothing anyway. So I don't even think it matters who wins? This is one of them games where it doesn't matter if you win or not. You're still not going to the playoffs. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm out of here today. That's our show for the day, and I'm gone.
Under the lights, speaking of facts, double the price, yeah.